dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
A new business partnership in Martin County could make Eastern Kentucky the center of an emerging technology. WYMT's Zach Hawk is at the Big Sandy Regional Airport with more on this afternoon's announcement. Zach, what exactly are these companies working on?
Well, Steve, State Senator Brandon Smith and some business leaders out here have a company called Biofuel Mining, which is partnering with Inez Power to spark the first carbon zero Bitcoin mining operation in the United States. The specific accomplishment these officials shared with me today is that a repair center is being built at an old Inez power plant. Essentially, a Bitcoin mining operation requires lots of small computers. Those small computers will need repair technicians 24/7 right here in Martin County to service equipment from all over the United States.
We are ready and positioned for Kentucky to be the next state with emerging technology. And uniquely, that's going to be here in Eastern Kentucky.
Now, Steve, I'm still here at the airport because Senator Smith explained to me that the repair contract Biofuel Mining has means that this place will be seeing a lot more action, which means a lot of commerce will be landing here in the mountains. Live in Martin County, Zach Hawk, WYMT Mountain News. Now back to you.
Zach, thank you very much. He told me just before we took him that he could hear elk bugling in the background up there. Well, he will have more on Bitcoin mining and what it could mean for Eastern Kentucky coming up tonight at 11. Well, several businesses and organizations in downtown Hazard are making the switch to solar power. The Hazard-Perry County Chamber of Commerce, Envision Hazard, and the Mountain Association came together to celebrate the newest solar installation at the Foundation for Appalachian Kentucky. Energy experts from the Mountain Association were also there to share more about the Solarize Hazard mission, which informs other businesses about the benefits of solar power and helps them save money on installation.
This is just another option, another thing, another employer, another way of, reducing costs and things like that. And I think that's really exciting.
We'll have more on Solarize Hazard and what it could mean for the future tonight at 11.
Well, speaking of solar, we did see some sun earlier on today. Some of that sunshine, though, diminishing as we brought in some clouds during the evening hours. We got a little bit more sunshine on the way, but a lot more clouds, too. UVA-wise camera showing some of that cloud cover continuing to work on in as we work into our Tuesday evening. Not a bad view, though, from our Buffalo Mountain camera. Look at the mild temperatures. We're still in those low to mid-60s as we continue to see that nice sunset in the distance with those high clouds working in. Downtown Whitesburg sitting at 55. Things calm there as well. Most of us, though, still in those low to mid-60s, though 50s as you head into the Cumberland Valley. Satellite and radar, it's a clean sweep around the mountains. However, you see some of that cloud cover working in. We're going to go from mostly clear to partly cloudy for tonight. We're mild, low 50s for overnight lows, not far from where we should be for daytime highs this time of year. Now, I'll have the latest on when big time cool down comes back into the mountains coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Evan, thank you. The Appalachian Regional Commission announced more than $5 million in grant funding today, with $1.5 million awarded to recovery to workforce projects here in the Commonwealth. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shows us how one of those projects aims to rehabilitate by rebuilding.
An epidemic that surpasses the pandemic.
It is clear that addiction and recovery issues require an all-hands-on-deck approach.
And a call to inspire change.
Second chances are supposed to be given.
Bringing partners to the table to rehabilitate, reintegrate.
We couldn't ignore being a half-mile away and knowing they had the second largest substance use disorder program in the state.
And rebuild the workforce by building up those often left behind.
And the things that they've done to get them incarcerated is out of their system. And I really get to meet them. And they're good people.
Expanding the Pike County Detention Center's current inmate programs, the Pike County Health Department and West Care Kentucky received more than $485,000 in grant funding from the Appalachian Regional Commission to create a new culture for inmates.
They go to a program like West Care for the incarcerated. They do what they're supposed to do, and then we release them but we're releasing them without all the tools that they need.
With the Rebuild Project, which will offer a state-of-the-art distance learning lab and help fund the jail's ongoing Build-A-Bed program, teaching and preparing 2 new cohorts every year.
So what we want to do is bring in employers, educate them about the challenges that these men have faced and overcome.
Giving them a space to give back.
First, be done properly. Second, it is going to give them the tools that they need to succeed. And 3, hopefully give them a better life.
And a second chance at life after lockup. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Those involved say the grant will eventually serve 90 men over 3 years, and they anticipate at least a 50% successful completion rate. 6 employers will be part of the program every year to help fill potential slots with second chance employees. We now know the identity of the person who died as a result of a hit and run outside the Double Quick on Highway 15 in Hazard. Pike County Coroner Russell Roberts says 36-year-old Melvin Gross was the victim in last week's incident. Gross was taken to Pikeville Medical Center initially. He stayed at the hospital for less than 24 hours before he died. If you know anything about this incident, you're asked to call Hazard Police. At last check, no arrests had been made. Kentucky State Police are asking for your help in the search for a missing man in Perry County. Take a look at your screen. This is 37-year-old Jody Russell Campbell. Campbell was last seen in the Pine Brook area off Kentucky 451. He was last seen wearing blue jeans and a blue t-shirt. If you know anything, you're asked to call police. Friends, family, and the community came together to honor former Knott County School Superintendent Kim King last night. King died in May after a long battle with breast cancer. To remember her, Superintendent Brent Hoover says Monday night at a game between local and longtime rivals Carr Creek Elementary and Heineman Elementary, the Heineman Elementary School gym was named in her honor. He says it was a powerful moment.
The gymnasium was full. We had a great crowd, her family, friends. That came out from everywhere, and we did the ribbon cutting out in the center of the floor. Everything went really well. The family was very happy, and it was just an honor to be able to do that for her.
Hoover says King has left a profound impact on her community and will always hold a special place in everyone's hearts. Certainly the Mountain Classic coming up at Knott County going to be different without her this year. Republican U.S. Representative Hal Rogers filed for re-election today. He's been in office since 1981, making him the longest-serving member of Congress in Kentucky's history. Despite a plateau in cases, we are still seeing the tragic impact of the pandemic. Tonight, a 30-year-old man will be taken off life support after a 2-month-long battle with COVID. His mother now hopes his story reaches anyone who is still struggling with the decision to get vaccinated. Grayson Passmore shares her desperate plea to all those unvaccinated.
Please don't put your family members through this, please. It's awful. It's a nightmare.
It's a bad dream Paul and Melton can't wake up from.
They just know that he's sick and he's too sick to talk to them.
As she tells her son's story.
My son's 30 years old. He was a hard-working kid, smart kid, good father, worked every day.
The father to 2 young children, William Williams, decided to not get vaccinated. He tested positive for COVID-19 in September. He's been on a ventilator in the ICU ever since.
I hope that it reaches somebody out there. You know, if you're struggling on the choice to get it, look at what, could happen. This could be you. My son never thought it would be him. But unfortunately it is, and it's not been pleasant.
Melton wants to emphasize that her son is young with no underlying health conditions and has never even smoked a cigarette a day in his life. But now on a Tuesday night, the family is gathered at UK Hospital to say their goodbyes.
And he's probably going to end his battle, a 2-month-long battle.
Melton says the ventilators are the only thing keeping her son alive now.
There we go.
Pleading with anyone who will listen.
It's bad for him. It's bad for my grandkids. My grandkids, they're the real losers,
To get vaccinated before it's too late. In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Powerful story. Melton says they're waiting for the rest of their family to get to the hospital Then they will be taking Williams off of life support. Big changes are coming to nursing homes not seen since before the pandemic started. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services are scaling back restrictions on nursing home visitors. They released a statement saying that essentially all restrictions are lifted. This is welcome news for Lexington Nursing Home, Sayre Christian Village.
I think each step that we take that gets us closer to a sense of normalcy for them is a big win for their mental well-being.
The change is due in large part to the high vaccination rate in nursing homes. Visitors at Sayre Christian Village are still asked to wear masks. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services also discourages large gatherings where social distancing is not possible. Kentucky is ranked 5th overall for obesity in teens and #1 for high school students. WYMT's Jade Saylor spoke with Dr. Christopher Bowling, the chair for the Obesity Task Force at the Kentucky chapter of the American Academy of Pediatrics, about how rural areas contribute to these rankings.
Obesity is a product of many things, like lack of resources in southern and eastern Kentucky.
Obesity tends to track a lot with poverty. And so because that's been a challenge for our state for many years, that's something that we also think obesity is just another manifestation of that.
People without the option to buy healthy groceries may resort to quicker and cheaper options like fast food.
If you're struggling with food insecurity, you won't necessarily have access to the healthiest foods that are out there.
Dr. Bowling says healthy habits, from food to exercise, it starts with parents.
From a nurture perspective, parents really are the most important role models for kids. And starting early on, you want to set a standard for healthy, active living.
Obesity is more than just the way you look or feel. It can also be the root of many serious health problems if gone untreated.
Obesity is the same rates for type 2 diabetes, for heart disease, for certain forms of cancer, for oral health. All those indicators, our counties are people who suffer with one, they suffer from all of those.
Obesity can be genetic or a product of your lifestyle, but regardless, it is nothing to feel at fault about.
Obesity is not a reflection of personal failing. It's a disease, it's an illness that oftentimes requires medical intervention.
Dr. Bowling says you can talk with your doctor about medication or surgery to help. Jade Saylor, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, some other things you can do to fight obesity is only eat unhealthy foods in moderation, exercise regularly, and create good habits for younger generations to come. Another new business is open on Main Street in Hazard, catering to music lovers and vinyl record fanatics. Queen City Records opened its doors yesterday, offering several genres of vintage and newer records. Co-owner Mary Everidge says opening day was a success and that she and the other owner, Joshua Miller, have bigger plans for the business.
We really want to help local music talent, even have local people coming in and maybe do shows, help sell their music for them. Even help with like the festivals that they have out at the Triangle. We really want to be a part of the community.
Queen City Records updated its hours and will be open Monday through Friday from noon until 7 and on Saturdays from 11 till 4.
Big changes are on the way after a very mild Wednesday. I'll have the latest from Future View coming right up.
And we'll talk to some financial experts to ask if Black Friday is still worth the shopping hassle.